Greetings everybody, and welcome to something a little different today. So, as it's pretty well known for anyone on my channel, I am a huge fan of the Verdun-Tannenberg World War I series, and while I eagerly await for Isonzo to come out, I thought I would do something a little bit different today, because in addition to enjoying the First World War in this game, I'm also a bit of an amateur historian and historical rifle collector, and I actually have in fact many of the rifles from this game. So I thought it would be fun for me to go over some of my favourite rifles in this game, you know, my thoughts, opinions on them, what ones I like to use, and in addition, just have a explanation and a talk about the real life versions of the rifles that I currently have. So today, I thought we would start off with the 1903 Springfield. The Model 1903 Springfield. Renowned for its accuracy and reliability, the Springfield was loved by both the US Army and the US Marine Corps. The P-17 would see more use during the war, however the Springfield was still very much a part of the conflict. This rifle would see action in many conflicts involving the US during the 20th century. Indeed, it was in the First World War, the Second World War, was used as a sniper/marksman rifle in Korea and Vietnam, and it's still seen in a few training yards and as a drill rifle here and there. So, I actually happen to possess one of these. So, before we get on to that, I thought I'd just like to quickly talk about this rifle in-game. The 1903 Springfield in-game, and personally, the model is actually quite good in comparison to the real one. A lot of the details you wouldn't think about are there. For example, the two switches on the sight there to adjust the windage and the left and right are there. Also, if you look, you can see that the handle on the left hand side of the rifle is also there to allow single loading or full opening back of the bolt for stripper clips. The sights are pretty accurate as to how they go. The bolt actually does sound pretty right as well as to how it cycles. As you can see, you can single load a couple of rounds in there. In terms of how I use it in game, I consider it a pretty decent rifle. Not as fast firing as the Enfield. The bolt is pretty good though. I'd consider it above a Mauser personally, for my personal tastes. I think the Enfield, in my opinion, is better. While this thing probably has more accurate sights, although it is quite hard to see the little front of the bead there. I'd consider the Enfield personally superior in terms of the 10 round magazine and the fastness of the bolt. Many times I tend to resent 5 round bolt action rifles after I've been using the Enfield in this game for a while, and that is a case with this one. However, overall, I would rate the Springfield a pretty good rifle. Definitely a little bit more tactical than the P-17, which I consider more of a marksman rifle than this. So, that's how this rifle looks in game. So let's have a look at my real one. So this is my personal 1903 Springfield. I got it at a arms auction. I've been looking for one of these for a while actually before I got it, because I also do World War II reenactments, and for the Americans I needed a Springfield. So here we are, 30.06 rounds. As you can see, one there. Also got some stripper clips, so yeah, looking pretty good. 5 rounds. I must admit, it is actually quite good to load it with stripper clips, even when I'm up at the range. All the standard sort of things you'd expect from a 1903. As I said, the fore end's actually pretty good. Rifling's not too bad as well. A few dents and scratches on it, but then it is pretty old. Swing swivels all work out pretty well. Can have a look there. You can see, same as the model on the rifle in game, you've got the 2 adjustable knobs there for the sight. You've got the elevation and the windage there. You can see that one there. Metal's not too bad. The markings and the serial number. Yes, the savvy among you will figure out that this is in fact a 1942 production, but it is the same rifle, so that's why I'm including it. So, as you can see, you got the bolt here. I must admit, I really need to get a GoPro. Doing this one-handed is a pain in the ass. but you can see inside the breech there. An interesting little thing just with this. If you look and see that switch there, that switch, that little toggle, is actually to allow you to either load it single or to load it stripper clip. So if I pull it all the way up and then pull it back, you can see that now the bolt's all the way back and you can load in stripper clips into it, as opposed to just single loading it. The safety catch is, of course, on the back there. A little bit more reliable than an infield safety catch, I must admit. So, of course, you got the magazine plate down there, fitted with a screw. Yeah, again, a few little dents and scrapes on the back of it. Yeah, the stock there, all looking pretty good. So, what else? Yeah, that's just the other side, just to have a look at the back end, the other end of the bolt, and that sort of thing. I don't have any bayonet with this. One day, maybe. Maybe not. Put it on ammunition. So yeah, this rifle actually cost me about $2,000, and it was actually the cheapest for the 06 Springfield that I could find. You can see that's the 1942 May 1942 markings on it there. So this was a Second World War production rifle, using the same tooling as the First World War production rifles. So there we have it. And that is my 1903 Springfield. I do enjoy it. It's actually one of my more favourite rifles to take up to the range just for ammunition. I still prefer firing an infield myself. However, yeah, I do actually quite like it. It's good for my reenactments, and it's a nice rifle to have in my collection. So I have about a dozen rifles from the Verdun Tannenberg series, so I figured while we wait for Isonzo, I would go through them all, just partly to show off, and just because I enjoy the World War I game series. So there you go. Toodaloo.